Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the German main battle tank Leopard 2A7. Now, the Leopard 2A7 was requested a little while ago, and I think I put off the tutorial itself actually a bit too long, but it's finally here, and for those of you who noticed, I took a bit of a break as well. Not completely by my own choosing. I did have a really bad cold for a little bit, and then sort of clearing up after that. So once I was like actually clear and ready to get back to recording, I would start doing the videos again. Plus, I didn't have anything recorded, like just the builds themselves, let alone the audio. And doing what I'm doing right now still takes a quiet environment, and I don't always have that quiet environment to do it, but right now I do. And so today we're going to be doing the 2A7. Now, to clarify something that people don't often catch is that people often confuse the Leopard 2A7 with the Leopard 2A7 Plus. Now, there's a difference between the two, because the Leopard 2A7 looks more like a Leopard 2A6 or a Leopard 2A5. They have that same overall look. But the Leopard 2A7 Plus has like the extra ERA armor. I think it also has like a remote controlled turret on the top for remote controlled HMG. But the Leopard 2A7 standard is more of a plain main battle tank rather than all the ERA and whatnot. And right now I'm actually doing this tutorial fairly relaxed because I have a new computer chair, because before this I was sitting in like a wooden chair that's like 3 decades old, just a kitchen chair. That's what I've been doing my work in the whole time. Trust me, it hurts the back after a little bit of time. But now I'm just sort of chilling here, laying back in my chair, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the 2A7 today. So the Leopard 2A7, what's the sort of stuff that they changed about it? Well, we're going to read a little bit about it from a website which I reference quite frequently when I'm making, especially modern vehicles. The website's simply called militarytoday.com, and I guess I'll leave a link to this in the description to this specific page for the Leopard 2A7. Now, on this page, in the image that they're displaying, they're showing the Leopard 2A7 Plus. So it's a little bit, everyone gets confused. But they do say in the description for this image, Leopard 2A7 MBT has additional armor and is intended for urban warfare, which is said right below the image, so they themselves are still aware of the reality of the vehicle, not coming with that ERA standard. So, another thing to mention about the 2A7 that I built is that I literally just took my previous 2 Leopard 2s that you've seen. Leopard 2A... which one did I do last time? Leopard 2A5, I think? I basically took my Leopard 2A5 and updated the heck out of it, because Leopard 2A5, I built it before we switched to this version of Minecraft. I think it's 1.16 I'm on again. I don't really look at it all that much to know which one I'm on, but the other Leopards are older and using outdated blocks. So this one was just sort of a update build, if anything at all. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really pleased with the amount of new blocks I get to work with. That goes for pretty much everything I'm building now. I love it. And of course, Minecraft is still coming out with all these new updates with new blocks that I could be using, but I don't really care. I'm content with what I've got right now. I can't keep updating because I have mods that I do need for, quality of life when I'm doing this. When I'm doing these sorts of things, because this is a big tank yard. So things like voxel map I like to have to be able to get back and forth and teleport to different waypoints, all that good stuff. But I want to read this article now on the Leopard 2A7 to you, just so you kind of get a grasp of what it is, for those of you who may not know. Now, for those of you that don't even know the Leopard 2 as a whole, maybe you're new to tanks, The Leopard 2 platform has been around since the 70s. It was developed alongside the US's M1 Abrams, which pretty much everyone knows. Everyone knows the Abrams, especially if you're American. But this was sort of the product of a joint project between the Germans, the West Germans, and just the Germans and the U.S. This was a development project where the U.S. and the Germans wanted to make a main battle tank, which I guess could be the standard main battle tank for both countries. So out of that came what the U.S. would know as the MBT-70 and the Germans would know as the Kampfpanzer-70. I have both in this tank yard as well, and they're going to get their own tutorials soon as well. Or hopefully soon. We'll see where they position on the list of priorities. But when that project actually failed, both countries sort of went their own ways, though still taking hints from each other. They sort of went their own ways. Germans were like, okay, we want this, but the Americans were like, okay, we want this. And so that's how you got the Leopard 2 and you got the Abrams. Both are products of that failed project. But, you know, I guess you can say it's good that the MBT-70 program failed, because if it didn't, you wouldn't have these vehicles we have now. Or maybe you would through another course of events, but I think I'm happier knowing that it failed and that we ended up getting the Abrams and the Leopard. So that's where the Leopard 2 sort of came from, and then it's just been evolving steadily over the decades up till now. And so the Leopard 2A7 is Germany's most up-to-date variant in service. And other countries are using the Leopard 2A7 as well, like other countries have ordered it. I know Hungary ordered the Leopard 2A7 Plus variant alongside the Leopard 2A4s, which they ordered. I think Denmark's getting some, and there's other countries, but those are the two that I can think of at this immediate moment. It'll probably mention it here. So I'm gonna read this now and stop putting this off. So, you know, sit down and relax and let's read this. So this is the article by Military Today. The Leopard 2A7 main battle tank was developed by German Krauss-Maffei Wegmann in cooperation with the German Army. It is a proposed upgrade package for existing MBTs. Now I want to stop right there. Note that this is not like a brand new vehicle. This is a upgrade to the previous Leopards. It's just an upgrade package to the fleet. Kind of like how the U.S. didn't make new Abrams. So yes, but no. They didn't like make a whole new batch of Abrams when they were done with the M1 and moved on to the M1A1, or then from the M1A1 to the M1A2. They're just upgrade packages in most cases. And that's what the Leopard 2A7 is, just an upgrade package. Anyway, carrying on here. Upgrade package for existing MBTs. It was first revealed in 2010. It is a further development of the German 2A6, of the German Leopard 2A6 MBT. It includes some subsystems of the Leopard 2 Peace Support Operation variant. The Leopard 2A7 is intended for urban warfare, low-intensity conflicts, as well as conventional military operations. Currently, it is one of the best main battle tanks in the world. Now, I'm gonna stop there for a second. I love Military Today, but the issue with me when people say, you know, best in the world of something is that it's never true. Now, any German viewers in here that may be prideful of the Leopard 2, I'm not, don't get me wrong, the Leopard 2 is a great vehicle, and in my own personal opinion, I think it's the best main battle tank in the world. But you need to be careful when you make those sorts of comments, because every vehicle is suited to a certain role. The Leopard is suited to its roles, whereas a T90 is suited to its roles, or dare I say the T14 Armada is suited to its roles. But rarely ever do they all perform with the same doctrine in mind, because every army has its own doctrine, and how it prefers its military to operate. And the Leopard is built around the desires of the German Bundeswehr, just like all German tanks in existence ever have. They're built around the doctrine, although some more than others, but you get the idea. So it kind of rubs me wrong when I hear someone say, this is the best tank in the world. Sure, maybe statistically, maybe, it had a really good combat run, maybe so few were lost in combat, but that's down to a lot of different aspects to take into consideration, like your combat environment, the foe you're facing, what kind of tactics are they employing. Just to say that, so few of these vehicles were lost does not really account for much unless it is in, really comparable situations to things like, an Abrams. You have to take that part into consideration. Now, since this video is actually shorter, especially shorter than the Challenger, I'm going to just keep going here and sort of end my rant there. But again, you got to be careful with what you say about what is the best and what is not. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I love the Leopard, but you can't say it's the best. Keep your eyes open and be observant. Anyway, German Army plans to upgrade about 50 to 150 Leopard 2 tanks to the first 2A7 standard. German Army ordered a first batch of 20 MBTs upgraded from existing German Army Leopard 2A6 tanks. First German Leopard 2A7 tanks were delivered to the German Army in 2014. This tank also received orders from the export customers. In 2011, Germany agreed to sell more than 200 of these main battle tanks to Saudi Arabia. In 2013, Qatar ordered 62 of these MBTs. These are known as Leopard 2A7Q. The Leopard 2A7 is a modular upgrade package, so other Leopard 2 tanks can be upgraded to this standard. Combat systems can be optimized depending on customer requirements. And how much further does this go? This does have a bit of a length to it, so I'm not going to read the whole thing because you kind of got the gist of what this is. It is a upgrade package to existing Leopards. But let me see if there's like anything worth picking out here. Yeah, that's a little bit different. So I have to be careful where I'm actually reading in this because I can see that they're getting some things mixed up with the Leopard 2A7 Plus. Like in one section here it mentions the 12.7mm machine gun mounted on the top of the vehicle, which is not something I've seen on the standard 2A7, but rather on the 2A7 Plus. So whatever. I'll leave the link in the description to this article, and for those of you that want to read it, you can read it yourself. But going back to my own Leopard 2A7, I tried my best to make this thing look very pretty. Like as you can see here in the clip, I'm putting leaves underneath on the barrel of the gun. And personally, I really like how in recent time I've been taking the liberty of customizing my vehicles in my own way, decorating them in whatever ways I can to just improve upon the base model. This is especially needful for vehicles that, when I build them, may not have the most natural detail by me replicating it. So if it doesn't have the most natural surface detail, then it is almost a necessity to take the liberty of making your own updates, or taking the liberty of adding your own customizations, kind of like how I have these things hanging off the side of the tank, or the leaves hanging off the barrel, or even all those mud flaps, I think, hanging off the front of the hull itself. And that's something I pride myself in, is making these vehicles look beautiful and translating them as best as I can into Minecraft. And that's just something I kind of want everyone to take into consideration, is that replicating doesn't mean, like, if you're trying to make your own replicas of military vehicles, more particularly on the ground, don't be afraid to experiment and add things that you think look good on it. and just to decorate it in a way that makes it appeal. And the Leopard 2A7, when I first built it, wasn't necessarily one of those cases, but I do it anyway just because it gives it more life. I don't like a build that is too noisy, visually, where there's too much going on. So you have to find that right balance of mixing things together, trying to nail the small details like I do. You have to differentiate blocks from one another to try to separate different details, experiment with different materials in order to make it look good. So that sort of stuff makes that's the sort of thing that makes tank building a challenge in certain cases for me these days. Back in the day, I used to be like making multiple tanks a day. Now it can take me easily a few days to get one main battle tank done. And granted, that's sort of down to my own lack of energy or willingness to do the build sometimes. Because in the recent time, because of the overabundance of requests that I've had, I've been going through this little method of choosing what my next build is that I have to build and construct it. Not even record it, just to construct it. So when certain people request a certain vehicle, if it's a vehicle I'm kind of like about building, or it's a vehicle that I just know I'm not going to look forward to building because maybe a lack of imagery or something, if it's one of those things, I'm just sort of turned off by the idea of having to build it. It's not that I don't want to build it, I just know the work that's going to come with me trying to make it, if you understand what I'm saying. And so what I've been doing is I have this whole list of requested builds written down in Windows Notepad. And what I do is every time I'm done one, I'll like put a equals done after each name just to, you know, cut down in the list. And then what I'll do is after every time I finish a build and I'm getting ready to do the next one, I look at the top of the list and I count down the list. I count how many vehicles are left. I go into a random number generator online. You can just look up a random number generator on the internet, and you can set a minimum number to a maximum number. And so I set the maximum number to be that amount of builds that I have left. Click the randomize button, and whatever the number is that the random number generator gives me, coordinate to the build that I'm going to make. And I think that's almost like a good discipline in a way. Like it's a good discipline. It teaches you to have to get things done, and I like it. At least I think it's a bit of a discipline. I find it to discipline myself. And the Leopard 2A7 actually was that. And it wasn't that I wanted to not... It's not that I didn't want to do the Leopard 2A7. Rather on the contrary, because I love Leopard. But I couldn't quite get myself to want to do it itself out of everything on the list. And so that's why I give it up to the random number generator these days. Let me see, according to the video here. Alright, so in this video, it looks like I'm getting ready to start. We're going to be doing the interior soon, so I have a little bit of time left to talk. But yeah, that's how my tank production goes these days. And so, it can take me multiple days to get one, especially a bigger vehicle done, if it's just something I'm not overly enthusiastic in getting done. There will be days I just want to build vehicles that are completely absent from the list of requests just because I want to do it, and I do it anyway. In fact, one of the vehicles in this recording session that I did, because where you're seeing me with doing this Leopard, I recorded 4 videos that day, and like one of them was something completely absent from the requests lists, but something that I wanted to do, and that will eventually show up. I think that'll actually probably be the next upload anyway, just if I'm going to upload in the order which I recorded. But, you know, I don't have a problem with people requesting builds. In fact, I love it because it gives me things to do, and it tells me more of like the sort of things that people like to see, and it has become rather apparent to me that people really like late Cold War to modern builds, which works fine for me because I like that era these days too. I used to only be someone that liked World War II stuff back in the day when I started. I used to just try to stick around that area. But as time has progressed, I've come to realize I really, really love doing main battle tanks or, whatever we can have from this time period. I really enjoy it. And especially when I start doing more things like Swedish builds. Someone did request I build the CV90-120, which is at the end of the Swedish light tank line in War Thunder. So if you play War Thunder, you'll know which one I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll end up seeing it anyway. But by my doctrine of build making in here, if someone requests a variant of a vehicle, if I don't have the base vehicle built, I have to get the base vehicle done. So how does that work? So if someone requests that I build, let's say, okay, in this case here, someone wants me to build the Leopard 2A7 like I'm doing here. I feel the need to build the standard Leopard 2, or in this case it was Leopard 2A4, which is one of the more plain looking versions of the vehicle. I felt the desire to build that first and then build upon that, so that I know if I can build that version, I can find a way to build the next version, and that's where I go. So in the case of the CV90-120, I will need to make the Stridsfordon 90, if we're going to call it in Swedish, a Stridsfordon, or CV90 combat vehicle. I have to build the base Stridsfordon 90 before I make the Stridsfordon 120. So that I know that if I can make the base variant, I know I can find a way to make the upgraded variant. And so that's how it works for me. I need to make base vehicles before I make variants. And so, especially in these cases where people are requesting me to build variants, it's like, if this person requests something, sometimes I have to end up making 3 different variants, including the one that was requested, depending on the circumstance. And trust me, I've done it before. And some of them you probably haven't seen yet, but they're coming on their way. I have a lot of tanks here, so I have no shortage in stuff that I can upload. But that's just a sort of a little bit of an insight into what my life is when it comes to getting builds done and reels. I'll tell you what, I'm really enjoying this new recording style that I'm doing right now, because I'm sitting here in this comfy chair. I have Spotify running as I'm talking, just to have a little bit of music to listen to, so it's not me in silence. And all the work's already done. I can just get to talk to you guys. It's almost like an opportunity for me to be properly social with you, and I enjoy it. But I don't really know what else I can talk about by this point, because the video is almost over, and not a whole lot more for me to talk about that is worth me mentioning, so I don't know. What can I talk about? Aside from the fact that, yeah, I was sick, really sick, when I wasn't uploading for that little while, so I needed a bit of a break to recover from that, which is a pretty bad head cold mixed with allergies, so yeah, that went well. But I'm very good now, trying to get more tanks done, trying to get more of this content done, and in recent time I've been having this increased urge to start doing like War Thunder content or whatever, especially alongside with my friend. So I'm probably, I may introduce you to my friend Link soon, and I may start uploading War Thunder content with me and him, because typically whenever I'm playing with him. Or maybe I'll just start uploading content of myself playing it anyway, just to start to bring a difference in content to this channel, because I've been doing this since 2016, I think it is. And it's just been the same content ever since. And, you know, I see the steady growth of the channel, very steady but slow growth of the channel. And I'm gonna be completely real with you. I'm not looking for that much of growth. I'm not after, like, if I even make it to 1,000 subscribers, I will be happy. Let alone anything higher. Because you look at people like Garrett 2x4, he's the one that's got the community of people that watch these videos. And for all I know, there's probably a fair few of you who are loyal Garrett subscribers here. And I'm just a small fish in a big pond, like I've said to my friends. I'm just a small fish in a big pond trying to make these sorts of things. So I have to try to find my own niche in YouTube if I'm going to keep actively trying to grow. But we'll see how that goes. I do enjoy doing this, but purely as a hobby. But anyway, we're approaching the end of the video here. I think I've said enough. I hope you all enjoyed this video, just so you get to, you know, you'll be seeing a little bit of the wrapping up of the build here. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope to see you all again soon. If there's anything you'd like to see, please leave a comment in the comment section for any builds you'd like to see. Ground vehicles, air vehicles, naval vehicles, I'm in for it all. So leave a comment. In the description there's also a link to my Discord. Please come and join. Come hang out with the rest of the community. You can leave requests there or even talk to me. Anyways, God bless you all. I love you all. I'll catch you all later. And goodbye.